Have you ever met a person for whom you're so willing to lose everything you've worked hard for just to be with that person? Our main protagonist, Harper, just did. It's a crazy ride in her life that teaches her to stand up for herself and learn to go after what makes her truly happy. Harper is a jaded employee at a PR firm. One can say she's very good with what she's doing. Phone calls here and there to several clients, communicating and making sure that at the end of every conversation the clients are happy and the company is raking in money. But if there's a downside to her steady career, it's her boss. Sarah has a tongue laced with poison, and she aims it at Harper at every chance she gets. Just like in this instance when she calls Harper to her office for an important assignment. She says condescending things towards her employee and just plainly insults her. Harper maintains, always has, a polite and professional stance towards her boss. But there are times when she wishes for an opportunity to smack Sarah's lips. Eventually, Sarah gets to her point. Their potential client, Disfruits, who is based in Spain, is planning to expand their market in the USA. They are on the verge of closing the deal to be their representative PR firm, so they are sending Harper to Barcelona over the weekend to ensure they get the contract. This is the company's way of acknowledging Harper's hard work, although with Sarah's delivery, the message is lost in communication. Still, Harper is grateful for the opportunity and trust. Later that night, she tells her best friends, Nikki and Leah, about her upcoming work trip. Leah suggests they trade her business class ticket to 3 coaches, get a cheap hotel in Barcelona, and start living their lives. Nikki can totally get some time off from her work as a dentist, while Leah is free because she works freelance. Harper is not a fan of this idea. They get sidetracked in the discussion because Nikki has a skewed view of what blackmailing is about. She intends to blackmail the other dentist to cover her patients while she's out, and she thinks it's okay. But Harper reiterates this is not a vacation, but a work trip, which may finally give her the promotion she's always wanted. In the end, she's outvoted 2-1. All 3 of them are going to Spain. Upon checking into the hotel, Harper gets ready to meet with a representative of Disfruits. Before leaving, she warns her friends to be wary of touching random walls. She explains that hotel rooms are blacklight nightmares, so for sanitary and sanity reasons, just don't touch the walls. After Harper leaves, Leah finishes downloading an app for blacklight, and oh boy, is Harper right about those nightmares. They are everywhere, even in unlikely places like the ceiling. This sets the tone for their chaotic, crazy weekend trip. To clean their minds off of the unpleasant visuals in their room, Nikki and Leah decide to go to the beach to get some sun. Harper meets them there, and together with her is Diego, the representative she mentioned earlier. To everyone's surprise, Diego and Nikki hit it off right away. His eccentric attitude matches very well with her chaotic vibe. Because he likes the 3 friends very much, Diego invites them to a club for the night. Of course, they'll be dancing, drinking, and hopefully doing something else. The trio agrees, and looks forward to it. Clubbing in Barcelona is much different than in New York. There is just something liberating and fun, with people dancing and drinking like it's their last chance. Harper, Nikki, and Leah squeeze their way into the bar and order 3 shots of tequila. However, ruining the mood is Sarah calling Harper's phone. Leah points out the time difference, which means Sarah should know that Harper should be sleeping and relaxing for the presentation. Nikki seconds this. They all need sleep, then she raises their shots for a toast. Agreeing with her friends, Harper declines her boss's call and toasts with her friends for a night to remember. With the lively club music, it's easy for them to just enjoy and let go. To forget for a moment their responsibilities. There's a guy roaming around drawing on people's faces with a pen with invisible ink. He spots Harper and takes interest. He says he'll show her love, then he draws on her cheeks. Right after he finishes, the DJ announces that she's calling to stage her dear friend, Leo West. The whole club cheers for the man who comes up stage. One look at him and Harper is hooked. Leo West is simply manly, but his smile is sweet and wholesome. Harper stands still while the people around her are hyped by Leo's music. Only the UV lights are on, highlighting the drawings created by the guy with the invisible ink. On Harper's cheek, a phallic symbol glows cheerfully while she smiles in a daze, looking at the DJ, and no one even bats an eye. They all dance to the heavy bass of the music. Perhaps it's because of this comical drawing on Harper's cheek that Leo takes notice of her. He laughs at her, then uses hand gestures to tell her she should meet him backstage. Harper is frantic because a very attractive guy just told her to meet him. Leah, the best supporter in their friend group, urges Harper to go and get her man, and so Harper does. She gets stopped by a horde of women wanting to meet Leo, then a couple of security guards. Apparently Leo West is a celebrated DJ in Barcelona. Thankfully, the man himself comes to her rescue. He beckons her to come with him. He brings her to a quiet space with a minibar. They introduce themselves to each other. Leo doesn't look like he's a snob. He's amused listening to Harper babble on about his talents and genius in handling the mixer. He clarifies that it's his friend's music he was playing earlier, not his. He smiles as she continues to praise him, to the point of stuttering. Eventually, he clarifies that he only wants to be the nice guy that tells her what's on her face. Leo takes a photo of it and shows it to her. They both laugh about it. Then he leads her to the minibar so he can get some wipes. Harper is grateful that he's saving what's little left of her dignity. He gently wipes her cheeks and makes light of the situation. He even calls it an old art form. Sensing his fun sarcasm, she plays along and says a lot of innuendos. It's only then that they notice they are standing very close to each other. Then they feel it. The simultaneous connection, as if they've known each other before. Leo grabs a pen and paper and writes down his number. He gives it to Harper, telling her to call him if she manages to listen to his music. If she doesn't call, he reminds her that he has a picture of her with that unsavory image, so she must see him again if she wants it deleted. Harper is all for it. She wishes him luck. He trips, which makes him blush. Then he's out onto the stage. Harper returns to the dance floor, just as Leo's set is starting. Everyone is focused and waiting for the man himself. LED lights flicker in tune with the music he's playing. Harper can see that everyone is into it, and when the beat drops, it drops hard. She's just mesmerized that Leo can command a crowd with rhythms and beats on his mixer. It's Leah who finds her first. She leads him to a VIP area where Nikki is enjoying herself. Apparently, while she was in backstage, a rich patron named Hernando invited Nikki and Leah to his corner. Harper tells them about what happened. Hernando tells her he's very good friends with Leo. He invites them to his house so Harper can meet him there. Still overwhelmed by her encounter, Harper just lets things she shouldn't say to strangers, like how she hasn't slept with anyone in a while, her problems with her difficult boss, and her ebbing self-esteem. It's the alcohol in her system talking, and her friends try to shut her up. In the end, they all go to Hernando's house. There's another party going on there. It's more focused on taking dope and lustful activities. In Hernando's words, this is an exploration of themselves using eye-opening sensual experiences. The three friends initially avoid taking those substances to keep their heads clear. But they get carried away with the party's vibe, and they soon separate from each other. Nikki enters what looks like a fitness room, filled with Adderall. She starts exercising while sending voice messages to Diego. Leah has found a guy and is now making out with him in a jacuzzi. Harper worries about not sending a message to Leo. She wants him to know she's here, and she badly wants to meet him. However, the longer they stay there, the more she realizes he's not coming. Harper feels sad, and a little bit like an idiot. She's just met the guy, and now she misses him like a puppy missing its owner. Hernando finds her by the pool. When she asks for Leo, Hernando reminds her to work as hard to find herself as she works hard to find him. He tells her to join him in the den to experience a spiritual connection, which means he's inviting her to take some substance. Leah is very much enjoying her experience with the random man who is now going down on her. Then, an angry woman comes in, wielding a knife. It turns out, this woman is the man's wife, and she is set to hack Leah to pieces. Fortunately, Leah runs away. She manages to grab someone else's boxers before running around to look for her friends. She finds Harper in the den, now wearing a unicorn onesie, and Nikki in the fitness room, still exercising. They all hail a taxi, just before the angry woman catches up on them. It's their first night in Barcelona, and yet here they are eating empanadas by the stairs, their system jangling with alcohol and substances. Harper laments the fact that she may have missed Leo. He may have arrived at that party after all. She tells her friends about that spark, that moment she shared with the DJ. Despite their situation, she knows the connection is real. It doesn't help that she keeps thinking about work. Sarah has made several phone calls to her and sent her text messages. Harper can't just ignore her work just to satisfy her connections with Leo. When Leah checks Harper's phone, she sees that Leo has actually flown to Ibiza for a show. Both Leah and Nikki are in agreement that Harper should follow Leo in Ibiza. It's simply fate, but Harper can't do that. She has a meeting with very important clients. She's not brave enough to get fired over an intense attraction. Leah tries to make her friends see sense. This is a rare opportunity for her to follow what, or who, makes her happy. She can't live the rest of her life filled with what-ifs. To make things simple, Leah asks Harper what she wants to do. The latter sincerely answers that she wants to go to Ibiza. That's settled then, Nikki says. When destiny calls, she must answer. One may think Leah and Nikki are just bad influences in Harper's life, but they understand that their friend is feeling something genuine, and they don't want her to live her life in regret. even if it means compromising her job. Soon, the three friends find themselves on a plane to Ibiza. They immediately make friends with the men on the same flight, who have learned about Harper's plight. They are in full support of her. They even share their own ridiculous experiences. In the end, they cheer for Harper and wish her luck. Upon landing, the three go on an impromptu road trip. It's rare that they have the chance to be together and just simply enjoy the moment. They sit by the rocky cliff and bask in the warm glow of the setting sun. After that, they face their reality again. They are in Ibiza, so Harper can meet Leo West. They must achieve this before going back to Barcelona for Harper's business meeting. Night has fallen, and the trio are stuck somewhere they don't know. Fortunately, a taxi drives by and accepts them as passengers. They tell the driver, whose name is Laser, to bring them to Flow, the club where Leo is set to play. Laser assures them that he will. However, he brings them to his house to have a few glasses of tequila. His laid-back nature prevents him from seeing the urgency in Harper's body language, or the suspicions on Leah's face. But when the girls find out he's going to let them ride on a limousine he drives, their party spirits rise up. Laser says they just need to go to a hotel where they'll meet Custodia, his niece, who happens to be one of the dancers at the same club where Leo will perform. They enjoy the ride. They even do the cliché, popping out of a limo's sunroof to feel the breeze, until unfortunately, bird poops hit Nikki on the face. They arrive at the meeting place. There, Harper decides to call back her boss, who's been calling her since she arrived in Barcelona. Sarah wastes no time insulting Harper before getting to her main point. The business meeting with the clients is supposed to be at dinner tomorrow. However, for some reason, the schedule has changed. The meeting has been moved to 11 a.m. Harper tries to negotiate returning the schedule to its original slot. Instead, Sarah just rains insults over her. Something inside Harper clicks, and her autopilot mode takes over to deal with her disdainful boss. It's people like Sarah who make her feel that her work is useless, that she is worthless. Surely there's a debate to be made about whether to prioritize work or live in the moment. Harper will have to choose to find out which one is more important. She recites her spiel like she's talking to a client, then she ends the call on a screaming Sarah. She returns to her friends and updates them on the schedule change. The meeting is at 11 a.m., and their flight back arrives at 10 a.m. They're cutting it really close, but Harper doesn't give a flying mind anymore. With a strong resolve, she tells them they are going to party all night, find Leo West, and make sure not to miss their flight back. Nikki, Leah, and Laser cheer her on. Just then, Custodia finally arrives. She's an attractive lady who seems to be the more explosive version of her chill Uncle Laser. The three women ride with Custodia, and off they go to the Flow Club. For multiple times they have to take a break, either because Custodia picks up some men to ride with them, or because she nearly crashes their overcrowded car. In between, we learn that Nikki has been constantly texting Diego. It seems like in just a short amount of time, the two have grown closer. Meanwhile, Harper decides to send Leo a long voicemail. Although she has his number, she's hesitant to directly call him. However, her voicemail gets deleted because her phone turns off due to low battery. She's been on this chase for a man whom she doesn't even know if he wants her. Despite the thrill, there's the uncertainty about whether the connection is two-way or whether she's the only one imagining it. Poor Harper, because she has no way to know that. At that moment, Leo West is actually feeling the same way about her. Leo actually tries to reach out to her by sending a voicemail around the same time. He's never done this before, so he feels cringy and embarrassed. He stutters, not knowing what to say. His long message is filled with awkwardness, but the bottom line is that he would very much like to see her again. It takes all his energy not to think of himself as stupid, especially since he ended the message with lots of love. Finally, they arrive at the club. They also meet the men from the plane earlier. They find out that the DJ Harper wants to meet is the famous Leo West. One of them says Leo is the real deal, a proper artist. Obviously, he's a fan, so he reminds Harper to treat Leo right. She takes note of this, before deciding it's time to meet him. She calls Custodia to help her find Leo. Fortunately, the dancer knows where the DJ is. At last, Harper and Leo meet again. He hugs and swings her around, excited to have his wish come true. Unlike their first meeting, the two are more awkward this time. It's because they've finally confirmed, even without saying it, that they have mutual feelings for each other. To Leo's relief, Harper never received his voicemail, so she wouldn't know how cringy he was when he was making it. Harper tells him about her breakfast meeting, implying that they only have a short time together. This sucks. So what are they going to do now? She takes that first leap, that risk. She's been chasing her destiny, meaning him, since she came to Barcelona. She knows she's insane for taking this risk, and that's a huge milestone for her. What Leo must do is cut his set in half so that they can spend the rest of the night together. Leo is taken aback by her determination. He agrees. Leo tells her to dance with her friends, then come back here at 3 a.m. He kisses her ardently. Then he's off to start his show, leaving Harper reeling. Her old self would never have done or said any of the things she's doing and saying now. But as she sits there shaking with nerves, she feels accomplished to have taken that leap. Harper returns to her friends to give them the good news. Nikki reminds her to get to the airport at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. Leah tells her that since her phone has shut down, she must not oversleep. Harper boasts that she may not sleep at all, which makes her friends cheer for her. Leo's show starts, and everyone enjoys their time dancing to his music. They chant repeatedly the words, airport, meeting, job, so Harper will never forget. And then, it's time. Leo announces to everyone he has to go early to meet a girl. Boys will know what he's saying, and he bids everyone good night. He meets Harper backstage. Then he brings her to his room in the nearby hotel. It really dawns on Harper how much of a celebrity Leo is, seeing the luxurious suite and the cute little hot tub in the veranda. Leo watches Harper expressing her awe, realizing he's never met anyone like her before. He tells her this when they are taking a dip in the tub. He admits he's never left in the middle of a gig before. Harper initially doesn't believe him, but he sincerely says he's not that guy. He's not someone who picks up girls and takes a bath with them in the tub and recites those lines. He wants her not to think of him that way, because he's never that way. Harper can sense his sincerity, and she believes him. They kiss, and they continue it in the bed. Even in the middle of the action, Harper keeps thinking about her work. So she orders herself to live in the present and get lost in Leo's kisses. She wakes up the next morning all groggy but satiated. Then her smile vanishes as she realizes she's late for her flight. She screams and groans like an ogre, waking Leo up in confusion. She gets dressed while her mind is bouncing back and forth between calming herself and succumbing to a full-blown panic attack. Leo decides to bring her to the airport. On their way, Leo takes a photo of her looking deranged. Then they can't help but aggressively make out in the back of the taxi. As they get near the airport, they both feel an overwhelming sense of sadness, as they may never see each other again. At least Leo is looking cool while processing his emotions, but Harper looks spent with a manic look in her eyes. They both don't want to say goodbye. Leo tells her he's never met anyone like her, because if he did, he would never forget. Although their time together is short and chaotic, they both know this is something they'll never forget for the rest of their lives. They share one last kiss, and then Harper is off to the airport. She has to get the earliest flight back to Barcelona. She doesn't know what happened to her friends, but she knows that if she totally screws this meeting up, she'll get fired. To her immense relief, Leah has thought of a contingency plan to save her job. Leah has made Nikki dress up as Harper, taking advantage of the fact that the businessmen have never seen her photo. With Nikki's animated explanations and Diego's guidance, the meeting is a success. The deal is good, and Harper has gained another valuable client for her company. But not all things go smoothly as planned. One of the men calls Sarah via video call and remarks about how smart Harper is. He turns his laptop towards Nikki, and Sarah just starts going off. Harper has to come in to try and save the deal, much to the confusion of the businessmen. She closes the laptop and leaves, and Nikki follows her. They have no idea what will happen next. And that concludes the trio's chaotic weekend trip in Barcelona. Whatever happens, there's no point in wallowing because they have all made their decisions. As for Harper, even though this is the end of her career, she has no regrets. She took risks, and it felt good. Now she knows she has what it takes to chase after what she really wants. At the office next Monday, Sarah starts her usual barrage of insults. Harper takes them all in, knowing she's accountable for the loss of a valuable client. Then Sarah says the inevitable words, she's firing Harper. It's like a huge weight has been lifted off of Harper's chest. She can finally say what she wants. She tells Sarah how much she hates her, how much other employees hate her, and that she's never a competent boss. Harper also declares she's going to start her own PR business, and she's going to steal the Disfruits account and other accounts she liaised with. To add the cherry on top, she says she's caught a contagious disease, and she's very happy to spread it around the office. Harper calls Sarah the B word, and then she spits on the door as she leaves. She walks out of the door skipping, finally free from the tyranny of that terrible person. Later that night, she meets with her friends. She learns from Diego that the clients actually liked the presentation. It gives Harper hope that she can convince them to hire her as the company's PR. As for Nikki and Diego's relationship, it seems to move in a serious direction, as he is set to come to New York to see her. For Leah, their trip in Barcelona has made her realize she's done with all those things. She's now ready to settle and build a family. It remains to be seen with whom she'll spend the rest of her life. Harper receives a call from Leo. He's in Paris, on his way to Tokyo. He wants her to come and see him there, but Harper wants something different. She's chased Leo, risking everything she has to find out if her destiny is real. She thinks it's time that Leo returns the favor. She tells him she's planning to start her business, and it's him she wants to see in New York. Leo agrees. He finally has the courage to tell her he likes her, for real. Harper says the same, smiling widely. Leo promises to call her when he lands in Tokyo. She returns to her friends and tells them about Leo in Tokyo. Nikki and Leah are supportive of her decision, but advise her to tone down that feminism thingy. A devilish look passes between them. What if they are the ones to follow Leo in Tokyo, and then they'll bring him to New York so he can come to her? Harper says no. Nikki and Leah say yes. And just like before, Harper is outvoted 2-1.